Alright guys, hope you're doing well. This is Rowlands here, and unfortunately I feel like I'm having to come onto YouTube again to explain a few things. If I'm being honest with you, I'm getting a bit sick of it now, to be honest. I haven't spoke about DrWilson now for weeks. I'm over it, I'm done. I'm moving on with my life, but yeah, unfortunately I woke up this morning to messages from people saying they've seen the new post on the Earth blog, and when I read it, to be honest with you, I was speechless, to be honest, absolutely speechless. I mean, whoever's feeding them this information is a complete liar as far as I'm concerned. So hopefully I'll be able to address a few things that's been coming up on the Earth blog over the past few weeks, and then the one that's specifically pointed towards me. As I said, I've moved on from DrWilson. I wish, to be honest with you, I wish it wouldn't even utter my name anymore. It's pretty pathetic, to be honest, and it's obviously I still think very highly of him, which is conflicting for me a little bit. So yeah, the first thing I want to address is the program. He's been writing on the Earth blog that practitioners have been telling people to eat salad, telling people to eat fruit, changing the program. From what I'm doing, I haven't changed the program whatsoever. The only thing that I'm trying to introduce is more education. That's the biggest problem that I found on the program. Mainly education around supplements, because clients get a supplement regime package with a lot of supplements on there, and practitioners, and I'm sure Dr. Wilson's aware of it, but practitioners wasn't educated on it, in my opinion, about how problematic these supplements are if the client is not aware of what some of the supplements can do, especially the sort of directional supplements like Megapan that's used to speed up an oxidation rate, or Limcomin. So what I argued, and I've mentioned this before, is that clients need more education. They can't just have a supplement regime with a pile load of supplements on without proper education. And I don't think practitioners were fully aware of the problems until they just started working with clients and they had their own experience with the supplements. So for me personally, I personally believe that the supplements need to be started off slowly for everyone in general, and they need sort of a 3, 4, 5, 6 months onboarding process where it's a slow, gradual thing upwards with the amount of supplements people are taking, because I found personally it's just too much for people. And Dr. Wilson would argue, well, you need to slow them down, but the problem is lack of education when people sign up. So this is one of the things that I'm trying to implement into my new app that I'm building, is a supplement onboarding system where the app kind of helps people along, and you can track what's working, you can track symptoms, and we sort of giving people more education. One of the things I've been giving people since I left Dr. Wilson is a lot of education on what each supplement does, so people can be fully aware of it. Because when I made my first video in retaliation to Dr. Wilson's comments on the Earth blog, which is another thing, I never wanted to make any videos about Dr. Wilson. The only reason why I had to do it, in my opinion, was because he was messaging my clients personally, and he was putting things on the Earth blog about me and my name and my business, which I thought I had to respond to that because it was lies for the most part. But yeah, education around the supplements. I had people call me up saying that Megapan, for example, put them in the psychiatric ward. I'm telling the truth. People called me up saying that because they was on it. They shouldn't have been on it. There was actually a fast oxidizer. Dr. Wilson tuned in with his guides, said, "Oh no, you still need to take Megapan." The guy was still taking it, put him in hospital, in a psychiatric ward. And I've had quite a few different people mention that to me. It kind of happened to me as well in the beginning of the program. I just assumed, oh, Megapan's great, I'll take it. I had extreme insomnia, thought I was losing my mind. I had to work out on myself, oh right, yeah, this is Megapan, and I just didn't get education. So that's what I'm changing, is I'm improving education, and I'm ensuring people understand what each supplement does, especially the directional ones, and I'm giving people a more, when they first begin, a slow start upwards, which I think is needed, because a lot of people go in too deep, they go in the full supplement regime, and then they're gone because they've had too much of an intense reaction. And at the end of the day, the nutritional balancing program, the return rate of people is really bad, like horrendous really. Probably 70-80% people don't get a second test, and a lot of it, in my opinion, is because people have been thrown in the deep end, and they're not given the proper education. And I think Dr. Wilson needs to tell practitioners how clients need more education. With the program design sheets, they need more education, you know, and I wasn't aware of this fully until I started getting a lot of feedback back from clients. So I'm not telling people to eat salads, I'm not telling people to eat fruit, I'm not telling people Dr. Wilson's died, so that's not come from me. The only other problem that I find is that I work with a lot of EMF sensitive clients, and as much as people say that the infrared lights on the saunas are low EMF, I still find problems with them. People get this sort of wired feeling, they can't sleep, and I think people need more education around that too, personally. So, you know, I'm giving people much more education around that, and telling them, you know, if you can get maybe a wood-fired sauna, if you are sensitive, then that's much better, because that's something that I had to work out as well, because that was causing me a lot of problems in the beginning too. So again, that's all implemented into the new system that I'm building to help people, to guide people, which I feel was lacking on the development program. So that's something that I've tried to educate people on as well. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm not changing anything, just more education, and starting people off with some lower dosages in the beginning, and making sure they're fully educated on what each supplement does. Because if you give someone Megapan and they're not educated on it, and they just keep taking it and they don't really understand what it's going to do, it could cause problems for them. And I've seen people have big problems. It's rare. Well, it's not rare actually. I think it's quite common that people have problems. The bigger problems are rare, but I think people need to be much more aware of that. Okay, so moving on to the blog today, the Earth blog. The first thing Dr. Wilson says that I was bad-mouthing him in the program. I don't know what you guys think, but the last time I spoke about Dr. Wilson was back in December on the channel. I haven't spoke about him in weeks. Like I said, I'm finished. And he's saying that I've been telling everyone that he's making a fortune out of the development program, as if he's some sort of scammer taking money off everyone and using it for his own advantage. Now, the problem I had with this was I was quite speechless, that I didn't really have any words to explain what that was all about. The only thing that I have mentioned is that when I decided to build my app, I mentioned this to Dr. Wilson around a year and a half prior to this video about what I wanted to do, and he gave me the green light. He's like, yep, that sounds good, that could be helpful. I also talked to him about potentially building practitioner websites and having a bit of a system for practitioners because they find it difficult. That was another thing he gave me the green light for. So I ended up building the app, and it took me a long time. If anyone's used it, they'll realise it's highly accurate. And I sort of launched the app, and he told me to pull it, told me to bring it down. And then I says, well, why can't practitioners use it? And he says, no, practitioners can't use it. And yeah, basically told me to pull it, which, to be honest with you, quite frustrated me. And I mentioned that maybe one of the reasons is that whenever a hair test goes into ARL or supplements goes into ARL, Larry takes a commission, and I know he takes a commission to pay for the advanced practitioners. Like, I've been a practitioner for 5 years. I know that they get paid through commissions, or Larry pays them a wage. One thing that took me a little bit by surprise was that I realised that they don't actually get a wage, that every time a test comes in, they get commission from that test, which means if someone like me ends up quitting, and I probably, I don't know, maybe I put through 30, 20, 30, 40 tests a month sometimes, well, usually around 20, I'd say 20, 30, then that practitioner is going to lose all of that money, which I found was quite harsh, you know. I thought they was getting a wage. But anyway, what I was trying to say is maybe the reason why he doesn't want me to release the app was because, you know, it's basically a bit of a threat to the system. And, you know, if you're producing a better report than what ARL does, then people aren't going to want, he's not going to get the commission, etc., etc. And I just mentioned that in passing. You know, it wasn't a big thing. So maybe that's where it's come from. But I haven't been going around saying, why would I even go out my way to do that anyway? I haven't been going around saying that DrWilson is some sort of mega rich nutritional health guru who's basically taking advantage of people and living this, you know, high life. Anyway, that's pretty astounding to hear that. Probably got took way out of context, but yeah, it comes across as really bad on the website. The second thing is, I mean, which I was even more flabbergasted about, to be honest, is that I've been telling people to get trace elements hair tests and to get trace element supplements. Now this is a complete and utter lie. Complete and utter lie. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, you might find this quite astounding, but I'm not even really aware of the trace element supplements, if I'm being honest. I couldn't really name you any of them. So how I've been telling people to take trace element supplements, I haven't got a clue, to be quite frank. And the hair tests, I mean, I can't read the hair tests of the trace elements programs. I'm used to the ARL ones. I like the fact that you can read them visually, you know, bowl patterns and you know, different patterns on the second four, which you can't really see on the trace elements. There's minerals on the trace elements that I've not really studied too much because I've been used to ARL. So why I would go around telling people to get trace elements hair tests is beyond me. Complete and utter lie. Whoever's feeding him this information is just completely lying, like through the teeth, you know, especially about the trace elements stuff. You know what I mean? I have talked about the fact that maybe the reason why I don't want me to release my app, and I don't know whether this is true or not, is because the money from the reports, you know, gets, you know, it's how they pay the practitioners. That was the only thing I've said. But I haven't been telling people that he's sort of making a ton load of money and trying to scam people. So I don't know. I'm a bit fed up, to be honest. You know, Larry makes it out as if I'm going out my way to make these sort of videos and you know, say this and say that. I'll be straight up. I have a problem with Larry's guides. I don't have a problem with him. It's starting to turn a little bit because clearly, you know, some of this stuff is coming from him, not his guides, and how he can just post stuff on the internet without any investigation, I think is pretty poor, to be honest with you. I mean, it's low integrity as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's that. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to keep on going with it. You know, my hunch is it's probably coming across as bad on his part, because every time he has posted something, the only reason why I do a video is just to, yeah, I can't have my name being slandered like that. It's pretty bad. So anyway, I hope that all makes sense. I'm not changing the programme, I'm just giving people more education, and I think that's what's needed, personally. So thanks for listening, and hopefully this is not going to become a common thing. I've kept my mouth shut about this fruits in the salads, and so people saying Dr. Wilson's dead, I thought, well, whatever. But the fact that, you know, my name is on there now, and yeah, it's just more bullshit, really. It's just bullshit. It's pretty depressing. So anyway, guys, take care, and yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Bye.